Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is Noni Walker of NoniWalker.com, and today is Friday, and it's 11:18. So usually I say Friday at 11, but it's time for another episode of Live Free TV with Noni. I apologize, first off, for bringing the show to you from my car, but I can't always make it home to the studio at 11 o'clock. Hi, Victor. So the message is what is important, and when I get to the point of having, hi, India, having an actual studio, then that's where I will be. But until then, here I am, and here you are. If anyone else is there that I can't see, go ahead and say hi. Give me a shout out. Give everybody a shout out. Good morning. Hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Live Free TV with Noni. Okay, today's show is about fasting. The reason why this came to mind is it is October. For those of us that live in areas where we do physically see the earth changing, we see the leaves turning colors and they're about to fall off the trees, and we see a lot of, the change in the weather, and there are a lot of changes going on the earth and even in the sky, and that signifies the change in seasons. It signifies the time that we're moving into the winter time, the fall and then the winter. And so at this time of year, specifically around the equinox, which already happened in September, but as you're thinking about the end of the year and you're reflecting on your year, it's a good opportunity to think about and consider and actually implement a period of fasting in your life. So those that are here with me right now, it may still be about a 30-second delay, but if you have ever fasted before in any capacity, send us a note. Have you fasted before? And that could be in any capacity, physically, mentally, or spiritually. If you have fasted, go ahead and send me a note. It might take 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, but okay. So if I get your note, I will go ahead and read it. But again, it's a great time to consider fasting in this last quarter of the year. The same way that if you are working in a business, right? A business is going to take that opportunity pretty much every quarter to do a quarterly review, or at least, a semi-annual review. So we do this at our jobs. We do this for our cars. A lot of us have quarterly checkups where we take the car in, we check everything, you get your oil changed. You do all of these things. So India, hi, yes, you said yes, you have fasted before. But a lot of times we don't think to do the same thing for ourselves in various capacities. And so again, today's show is about fasting. Now, in my book, The F Train to Freedom, which you can always find on NoniWalker.com, I have a complete chapter devoted to fasting. And while at first thought, when you hear the word fasting, hi Ashley, many people think only about fasting and not eating. But there are many different ways to do a fast, and there are many purposes to do that. So today we're going to talk about a physical fast, a mental fast, and a spiritual fast. So Victor says, saludos en palante. I don't know what those mean, Victor, so if you could say that, what they mean in English, please. I'm thinking saludos is something with health, possibly a health fast, but I'm not familiar with what palante is. And yes, Ashley, you did make it. All right. So we're talking about a spiritual fast, mental fasting, and physical fasting. So let's go to the physical fasting, the one that everybody is most familiar with. Typically, I don't even know if it's typically, but I think what comes to mind when people talk about fasting, they think about in the religion of Christianity about fasting in order to get an answer in your life, to go inward and fast for whatever the period of time is. There are stories in the Bible about fasting. I'm sure in other religions as well, there is this concept of taking down what you consume in order to let other parts of your mind and spirit be more open and more free. I'm not approaching this today from any of that type of perspective in terms of the physical fasting. I'm speaking strictly about fasting for your health, okay? Now, in the end, if it is for the reason that you want to be more spiritually in tuned, that is wonderful. If you want to lose weight, that's another purpose of fasting. If you want to detox and cleanse your body, that's another purpose for fasting. Good morning, Omatola, and good morning, Tim. So in the book, okay, as always, we're going right back to the book. I'm approaching the concept of the physical fasting as a way to detox your body. Even me, people think I don't eat meat. People think I don't eat French fries. People think I just eat water, and I drink water and I eat just green vegetables all day long. No, even me, I eat the things that I do enjoy eating. I eat them in moderation. I try not to go overboard, but I do, eat French fries. I do eat bread. I still eat meat. I haven't progressed that far to where I'm going to be a strict vegetarian or a vegan. That is a goal of mine, but I haven't gotten there yet. And my point is that most of us are like that. Most of us are occasionally eating the carbs. We're overdoing it in the carbs. We go by the fast food restaurant. And so the idea of fasting is that once a year, twice a year, or even 4 times a year, you can take this concept and cleanse your body. You can detox your body from all of the things that accumulate inside of our bodies over time. Now, it's not just strictly from the food itself, but foods do contain toxins. The air that we breathe contains toxins. The types of materials that we use in our home can contain toxins. So we are consuming toxins, whether we're eating them, breathing them, we're inhaling or consuming these things. So it is necessary. I don't have a prescription for this. I'm not a doctor. I'm not physically, clinically prescribing this, but it is a good idea to consider. Fasting, aka detoxing your body at least once a year, perhaps twice a year, and maybe 4 times a year. And especially now, as we are ending 2016 and we're thinking ahead in November to the elections. We're thinking ahead to November and December for the holiday season. We're thinking ahead towards January. What are going to be our goals for 2017? It's a great time to do this for yourself, to cleanse yourself out. Now, physically, fasting, aka detoxing, helps your body in so many ways. And I'm going to give you today the 4 physical channels of elimination when you do detox, when you do cleanse your body. Number 1, when you cleanse your body, you are helping to... One of the channels is through your bowels, okay? Your large intestine is capable of retaining 10 to 15 pounds of waste. And so as you can detox your body, you're actually cleansing out your entire digestive system to cleanse out those wastes that are accumulating there. Hey, it's before noon. This might be gross to you, but your body is with you all of the time. So let's get over the gross factor and think about what we're carrying with us day to day. And many times we're carrying pounds and pounds of waste. And so to think about a way to fast or detox to cleanse that out, the bowels are one channel of elimination. When you detox, you're also cleansing out your kidneys. The kidneys are responsible, and I'm reading, that's why I'm looking down. The kidneys are responsible for filtering out toxins and metabolism byproducts from not only the urine, but the blood as well. And so when you can fast or detox your body, you are cleansing out another channel of elimination, which are your kidneys. Did you know that your skin is also a channel of elimination? And a way to detox your skin would be by skin brushing. Skin brushing helps detoxification and elimination. It promotes circulation and helps to alleviate and prevent cellulite. So ladies, we're usually looking at our stomachs and we're looking at our hips and back there on the buttocks. If you are looking to help prevent cellulite, skin brushing that area is a great way to get rid of the dead cells. It's also a way to stimulate that circulation and help prevent cellulite from continuing to accumulate in those places that we don't want it to accumulate. All right, so skin brushing. And then the fourth major channel of elimination for our bodies is our lungs. And so this is where we talk about the chemicals that we're breathing in through, whatever we're using to clean. Even dairy products begin to promote and accumulate mucus and phlegm in the lungs. Did you know that? So, the everyday health system promotes a lot of dairy. I personally encourage decreasing the dairy or cutting it out altogether and finding alternates for your milk, let's just say, maybe almond milk or soy milk, because dairy as itself does make the body accumulate more mucus and phlegm. And so if you're around someone that smokes, secondhand smoke accumulates in the lungs. So when you give your body that chance to fast and to detox, you're also cleaning out your lungs. So skin, kidneys, bowels, and lungs are the four major channels of elimination. And when we talk about fasting or detoxing on the physical level, those are the four major areas that would be cleansed by doing a detox. If you'd like to use 5 foods to help detox in a physical way, you can increase lemon. You can have lemon, high in vitamin C, has a very alkalizing effect. Ginger, one of my favorites, helps to improve digestion. It's high in antioxidants. Garlic, antiviral, antibacterial, antibiotic. Green tea, very high in antioxidants, very popular in our detox plans. And brown rice, as a great whole grain, high in fiber and helps clean the colon. So these are 5 things that you can add when you want to go through a physical fasting. Now I've got a whole chapter. I'm not going to read the whole chapter on this, the whole part of the chapter on the physical fasting part of it. But again, to consider this concept, especially in this last quarter of the year, you can really help to detox your body from all of the toxins that have accumulated from the spring and the summer and the late summer. Now let's talk about a mental fast. Did you know that you can do a mental fast as well? And there's many different ways to do that. Number 1, how many of us scroll Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat more than once a day? Raise your hand if you do. Okay? You're scrolling, or give me a chat. You're scrolling. You're, what do they call it? Trolling. You're constantly on news feeds. You're on Facebook feeds. You're looking at Snapchat. You're doing your Instagram. You're constantly scrolling and just consuming through the mind all of these different stories. Consider doing a mental fast by taking a break, whether it's a day, whether it's a weekend, if you can go a full week without the constant scrolling. Because what's happening is, as we're doing that, Ashley's raising her hand. Thank you for being honest, Ashley. Anybody else out there want to be so bold to admit? As we're constantly consuming the media of other people, the images of other people, the news stories going on around the world, that is a form of consumption. And so it's going into your mental body, which, as we know, goes spiritually or physically. It's a continuum of health. And so sometimes if you're thinking, why am I in a bad mood today? Like, I woke up fine, and by the time I got to work, with the exception of it being work. By the time I got there, I realized I was in such a bad mood. Consider the fact that it has to do with your mental consumption. If the first thing that we do is wake up and look at our phones, you are mentally consuming in those precious moments, right from the very beginning of your day. You are mentally consuming a whole bunch of other things that have nothing to do with you in that moment. If you spend your whole lunch break constantly consuming, okay, it is affecting you whether you'd like to believe it or not. It's affecting your mind. It's affecting your mental processes. You may be trying to work out a problem. Okay, you may be saying, I got to figure out this solution by the end of the day. This is something I got to think about and really figure out. But if you're constantly mentally consuming other people's goings-ons, other people's happenings, what's going on in the world, you're actually preventing, and you are, I don't want to say confusing, but you're kind of like, I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of, but you're packing on all of this extra stuff on top of whatever it is that you have to try to figure out. So point number 2 is to consider doing a mental fast, taking a break, number 1, from social media for a good day, okay? A good day. Put your phone away from you before you go to sleep so that when you wake up, you can actually revel in the moments of having a good rest, before you start thinking about everything. Just take a break. Just be peaceful. You can also take mental breaks in a physical way from talking so much, okay? You ever had one of those weeks where you already had a bunch of meetings going on at work, but then you're constantly talking to other people as well? You're texting, you're at home, you're on the phone, trying to talk and catch up with everybody. Everybody doesn't need you right now, every day, all day long. That's another way you can take a mental break is if you already have a lot going on at work, be quiet during your evening hours. You don't have to call everybody back today. You don't have to schedule that last meeting or that conversation. You can take a break. Today's Friday. Consider over the weekend just not talking to a lot of people. I do this all the time, and I see Felicia Haslam has joined. Hi, Felicia. Felicia Haslam Davis. She knows this very well about me, as well as Ashley. There are times I just will not talk to anybody because I need that mental break. I'm overworking myself in another area of life, and so to bring it back in, I'm just going to take a break, taking a mental break. Okay, and we can all do that, whether it is, again, you're cutting down on your social media. Hey, Douglas, you're cutting down on your texting, and you're taking that mental break by not physically talking a lot, okay? We've seen that stories in different religious texts as well, where people take a break. They don't talk, for a day, 2 days, 30 days, and they're giving themselves that break of constantly feeding out and then feeding in. Okay, so spiritually, this is going to sound like an oxymoron, a spiritual detox. Does that mean that I don't think about spirituality? But when I speak about spiritually fasting, it's actually that because you are fasting and you are decreasing things in other parts of your life, you can do a spiritual fast by focusing more on your spirituality. It sounds like an oxymoron, I know. But let's just put it like this. There are a lot of people who decide to do some sort of religious practice one day a week. And for that one day, they're waking up, they're all into it, they go to their place of worship, they might have worship at home, and then they're trying their best, to remember what's going on the rest of the week, and they might forget. But a spiritual detox is one in which you take even more time to really go within, to spend more time meditating, whether it is that you belong to a spiritual community or not. I'm not saying, be one way or the other, whether you do one or the other, but to go within for a longer period of time to let the principles and the lessons and the things that you are learning about or want to focus on, to let those things actually sink in. One thing that's come to mind recently is the concept of worry. We all have our different things that we worry about, especially last week with the hurricane. I'm sure there were, hundreds, if not thousands of people at some point in some area of the world that was worried about those in the path of the hurricane. But let's look at this spiritually. Spiritually, a spiritual principle, it doesn't matter what religion you practice, but a spiritual principle is the concept of faith. And that to have faith means that you're just going to believe in XYZ. When you think about worrying is actually the opposite of faith. You're taking that away from that concept. You're saying, instead of believing or knowing that all will be well, I'm taking it back and I'm going to try to figure it all out. Well, by having a spiritual detox or spending a considerable amount of time letting a concept like that, like faith, something that we've learned or that we read about or that we've heard or we're talking about with other people, take one of those principles, take that principle and just go within for 3 to 5 days. Give yourself time to meditate, time to do the deep breathing, time to be quiet, time to go out in nature. All of these are ways that you can spiritually connect. It doesn't just have to happen in the church house. You can spend time out in nature and really be just as full. I don't want to offend anybody by saying that, but I'm just saying that by going within, being quiet, you can still hear. Okay, not necessarily with your ears, but you can hear from your spiritual body a principle or an idea and really let it sink inside. Okay, maybe on a Monday you say, this week I'm just going to focus on faith. I'm just going to focus on that idea and just see what comes up for me. That's what I consider as a spiritual way of kind of fasting. You've decreased some other areas in your life in order to go in and focus. So this idea of fasting and detoxing, I mean, it can go on multiple levels. Today we're talking about physical fasting, mental fasting, and spiritual fasting. You can also detox your environment. Okay, this is another way that you can do a detox or a fast. Detoxing your environment, your home. Going through your home and looking at the types of chemicals that you're using to clean. I know we were brought up on bleach. I know we were brought up on Lysol. I know we were brought up on many of those kinds of I don't know why I can't think of my words today. We were brought up with those cleaning agents in our home. But if you look on the packages, if you do some research, a lot of those cleaning agents are toxic as I don't know what. They have ingredients in them that are used in other types of, blatant poisons. And so if you want to do a detox of your home, you can start there looking at your cleaning agents. Number 2, look at the amount of stuff that you have. Do you know when you realize the amount of stuff that you have when you have to move? When you have to move, whether it's down the street or to another state, you realize, how did I get all this stuff and do I need it all? And you just start throwing away things. Well, don't wait until it's time to move. Detox your home. Number 2, by looking at the amount of stuff. Do you really need that serving tray that you've had since grad school? Do you really need it? Unless it's a family heirloom. Do you really need that pair of shoes that you haven't worn since 2012? Do you really need all those newspapers on the desk that you know you're not going to read? Get rid of them. One thing that happens is that, we talked about this concept that as above, so below, as within, so without, right? But the concept is that just as whatever's going on within you is reflected to the outside, But just as easily, you can absorb what's going on the outside and absorb that on the inside. So if your home is cluttered, if your car is cluttered, and you wonder why you feel like you're all out of sorts a lot, and you start your day and everything seems so frantic, and the mail is piled high, and the kids' clothes are everywhere, or you've got, again, those newspapers stacked. You've got magazines from the year 2012. You're not going to read those magazines. Get rid of them. It's a wonderful idea at this time. There's spring cleaning, but let's talk about fall cleaning. Let's get rid of all this stuff. Let's go into the holiday season nice and clean on the inside as well on the outside. Okay? Physical detoxing, mental detoxing, spiritual detoxing, and environmental. You can environmentally clean your space, clean your car once and for all. People think that I'm like a fanatic about my car. My car pretty much always looks like this. Like, I don't have stuff all over the place, because when I get into my car, I'm getting in to go somewhere. I'm driving, I'm going to a meeting, I'm going to meet with people, I'm going to be doing a lot of various things. I don't want to see a bunch of crap all in my car. And I tell you what, it makes every ride that much more enjoyable because my car is clean. I know where everything is. I don't have last week's mail stuck between the seat and the console. I'm not necessarily picking on y'all that do have dirty cars, but I'm saying that it's just a great thing to consider. Decluttering your space, and that means your car, that's your home. If it's at home, start room by room. Go to your kitchen. The pots and pans you've had since college and you don't really use them, get rid of them. Go to the bathroom. The bathroom also, that should be a definite place of sanctuary, right? Clean out the stuff that you don't need. Go to that garage. My garage isn't necessarily, it's not like, shelves and everything, but it's still, I only have in there what I want, Okay, so it seems like I still have people that are here with me. It's been about 30 minutes. I'd love to hear some feedback from you all about this idea of fasting, and to take it beyond the idea of just physical fasting, but you can do a mental fast, you can spiritually detox, and you can declutter your home. Anybody out there want to share some experiences where they might have done this in life and they felt some sort of change? There's always that delay. It takes about 15 seconds. Would anyone like to consider, maybe we can do this together. We can do this together for the rest of the month. We can, I plan on doing a physical detox. I keep saying I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But I'm feeling heavy. I may not look like as heavy as I feel, but I just feel heavy, and like I need to just get rid of some stuff. So I'm going to be doing a physical detox very soon. Anybody out there want to share their experiences? Anyone out there want to consider in the month of October doing some sort of fast, some sort of detox where we can do it together? We can maybe create a Facebook group. I do know, I can recommend right now, there's a 30-day October detox challenge. If you want to look up my friend Omatola Gordon Rose, look her up on Facebook. She and her friends and colleagues and business partners and health, her health network, they're doing a 30-day health challenge right now. And you could message to her, and she can add you to that group. And that Facebook page has so many resources: how to go through your kitchen, how to clean everything out, exercising, all kinds of things. And I didn't even touch on exercise. Exercising is really a great way to spiritually, mentally, and physically detox, because you're sweating, right? And if you exercise on a regular basis, you're getting rid of the unwanted pounds. But mentally, people that love to run talk about the fact that when they run, they mentally are clearing their minds. And others, like I consider dance as an exercise if you're doing it consistently. And for me, when I go out dancing, it is a spiritual connection for me, especially because of the type of music, house music and Afro house and Afro Cuban house, and it is very spiritual. So that physical activity can be not only a way to physically fast, but to mentally and spiritually connect. Okay. It doesn't seem like anyone wants to chat here live, but for anyone who's watching the replay, go ahead and start typing away. Share with us some of your experiences doing a fast, and share with the group if you would like to consider doing something in the future, and that maybe we can all do something together. Create a Facebook little mini group and do some sort of fasting or detoxing. I'm going to visit like a health store, and I can post some of the tonics and things that you can take as a way of physical detoxing. I'll post some pictures of some things that you might want to go get. But other than that, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode and say to you that I love interacting with you. Thank you all for joining me. If you're just joining, hi Tolewa. If you're just joining, go back and watch once this posts. We're just talking about fasting, different ways of fasting, physically, mentally, spiritually, as well as in your environment. So I made an announcement earlier this week on Periscope that because of the small interaction on Periscope, I'm moving the show to Facebook Wednesdays in addition to Fridays. So I will see everybody here next Wednesday at 11 for the show Live Free TV with Noni. And until then, say it with me, live well. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.